most of you caught my Southern accent, but unless you know me personally or you watched my intro videos, you may not know that I am a native of the Lowcountry of South Carolina, and that I personally took that photo that mentions the Salkehatchie, and that land is on my family's land in Colleton County. In addition to that, if you pay close attention to some of the closing remarks, you'll see a man in a frame. That is my great-grandfather, and he purchased that land in 1925. So I chose to read this history to Rocco on purpose in the first episode. To me, any kind of research is family legacy. You don't just put it in a book and put it on a shelf. You do it and then you pull it out and share it with your children. And to me, Rocco is my child. So this is actually me not only telling the story of his ancestors to him, but also to you. So I chose to read it to him this way. And in future episodes, we're not going to be directly reading like that on camera. You may see one or two of my dogs in a future episode, but we're probably not going to be reading directly on camera. So let's talk about the journey. As a historian, I don't just see dates. I see the journey. I hear the music. And in some cases, I smell the smells. I can picture in my mind's eye the indigenous people crossing that land bridge with their pups. I can see it. I see the Inuit in the frigid north with their Malamutes. I see the scorched sun of the Southwest taking its toll on the travelers and their dogs alike. But then there are those sun-baked dogs, the Carolina dogs. They made an arduous journey across to another ocean over to the Atlantic entirely on their own and settled in the swamps and marshes of the Atlantic coast. Why? What led them to do that? It is a mystery that is simply fascinating to think about. And it adds a layer of wonder to our swamps. But here's the thing. Those swamps were not a sanctuary for everybody. In our next episode, where we cover the pre-colonial period from 15th century to 17th century, we're talking about the Spanish and the English that settled a little bit different swamps from where my family land is, but they're similar. And we're talking about some of the struggles that they had, particularly because of the fact that they weren't the only ones that were hunting. The critters were there, and they had to contend with that. The critters like alligators and bears, coyotes, things like that. So these critters did not care who was trying to settle the land. Thank you for sharing in this slice of the first episode of America 250, The Dogs. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you've enjoyed getting a glimpse of the next episode, which drops on Monday, April 13th. See you then.